Take your T outliners, unscrew the very top screws. This is to take off the blade so that you can see exactly where you want to adjust your blades to. Once you have taken your blades off, make sure that you set everything in a place or an area where you will not lose your screws. Be sure to clean out your clippers or clean out in between your blades so that there is no debris from hair, grease, goop, or gel sitting in between your blades when you get ready to adjust them. I preferably use pressurized air when cleaning mine. You can use a toothbrush or a brush, but sometimes when you use the brush, it knocks the blade back off course. Now, take your top blade and your bottom blade, sit them on top of each other. Loosen the two screws inside of the on the bottom side of your trimmer. This will allow you to slide your blade back and forth so you can make the adjustment to see if this is exactly where you want your blade to sit. One thing to pay close attention to is that you do not, I repeat, you do not want your bottom blade to protrude above your top blade. If this happens, you will notice a lot of your clients will have a very dark mark at the very tops of their skin on the top layer of the dermis. So around the edge up, around the beard, around the mustache, you will have scar tissue because the bottom blade, which is the moving blade, tends to rip the skin apart. If you cannot eyeball it, I would say take your blade and sit it on the face of a table. So turn your blade upside down, sit it on the table, and make the teeth meet the top and the bottom blade. Once you get it to where you want it to, tighten up the blade. Slide it back and forth and rub your finger across the top of the blade. If you rub your finger across the top of the blade and you feel any type of snag on the bottom side of the blade, then the bottom blade is still too far out. Once you have the blade aligned exactly where you want to, tighten the two inside screws up. Check again to make sure that the bottom blade isn't sticking out above the top blade. And then you put it back onto your edges. Take your two screws, put them back into the top of the trimmer to tighten it back up. Once you tighten the two screws up at the very top of the trimmer, you want to give your clippers a test run to make sure that they are not too sharp for your client. You have to remember that this is going on someone's face, neck, mustache, and lip line. What I do is I tighten them up and I run it across the hair on my forearm. At first, I listen to see how the tool runs. If it doesn't sound like anything's loose, then we might have a perfect daddy. Oil your blades. Make sure you constantly oil them because this is metal on top of metal. If you do not oil your trimmers, then they will not run right. If you can slide your clipper a trimmer on your own skin without it scratching it and knocking the hair off at its first touch, then I think you found yourself a winner. You have finally gapped your tool.